Yeah, yes, sir. We're finna go ahead and get it started. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 55. On today's topic, or for today's topic, rather, we're going to talk about focus. And there's a lot of different elements that come in with focus. We're going to go ahead and cover them all today. If you're in here right now, I appreciate you for stopping by. I seen that KJ in the chat, as always, holding it down. And got the boy D in the building, Manarchy in the building. Appreciate you for stopping by as well, my dog. This is something that I'm going to need you guys. I want you guys to add on to some of the topics that I'm going to be talking about today. All right, so with focus, I really didn't understand how important focus was until about I would say about like a month or two ago. And it's something that people don't really question at all. Like, how important is focus really, right? Focus is the choice in which you divert your energy into. That's what it comes down to ultimately. So, if you're focused on things that really don't matter. For example, you go on your phone, and you see something about sports. Honestly, that's not really going to do much for you. You're diverting your energy into it. Of course, is it entertaining? Yes. But is it really doing anything for you? Not really. But it is or can capture your focus for a temporary amount of time. And now you see all the other things within society. Like, let's just say social media. Social media gets your attention probably a lot more than it probably should, right? Scrolling through social media, you see a bunch of things. And I would say, people scroll on social media. I want to say maybe like 10%, 10, 15, 20% of what they actually see on Instagram has any significance. Is and not only has significance, but I want to say 10 to 20% is actually something that you'll interact with or focus or even is worthy of focusing on again um after you already see it one time, right? There's very, very few things that you're going to be able to watch that is truly going to be worth your focus and energy. And I think that's interesting, something that people should question. People give away their focus, energy, time away for almost nothing nowadays. And you need to be questioning that because, well, first, if you want to be like everybody else, then go ahead and do what everybody else does. But if you don't want to be like everybody else, then you're going to need to do what everybody else isn't doing, right? And if you're watching this podcast, I suggest that you try to do what people don't do because people don't do things that they probably should, realistically, right? So we're gonna get into it today. I want to talk about how many do I got actually? One, two, three, four, five, six, 9 things of areas of focus, and I'm gonna add into it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have another one that I'm gonna want to add into that. So this goes for men, but this can realistically go for anybody. These are areas of focus that you need to focus on in life. That if you strategically give your time, attention, and focus onto these things, it's going to reap the most benefits in life. Okay, so we'll get started. The first thing that you should be focused on to an extent is going to be your financial situation. Jesus Christ, financial situation is something that you're going to need to be focused on. So whether that's having a job, having a side hustle, whatever it is, those are things that you should be of your focus that deserve your focus until you get to the point where that does not need to be your focus, one of your main focuses in life. That could just be a byproduct of what you do, right? Financial focus. So when it comes to trying to learn about, well, rather, when it comes to worrying about your finance and focusing on it, you're going to need to do more than just make money, have a job. You're going to need to do more than that. You're going to need to be financially literate. So this means, you know, consuming more financial education content. Um, I would recommend reading books. One book that I recommend for financial education, if you have absolutely no financial literacy, I'd recommend reading Think and Grow Rich. That book right there is part of what gave me my financial literacy foundation, along with taking a personal finance class in high school. Shout out to high school. The only time you'll ever get a fucking shout out on this podcast. Shout out to high school for actually allowing me to learn what the fuck I needed to learn, right? But what I will say is this on that right there. At the same time, the only reason I was in that class learning about shit that actually mattered was because I was not great at math. And that was because I had terrible, terrible teachers. Terrible teachers. They could barely speak English. How the fuck am I supposed to learn? Whatever. I digress, right? I'm over that. Fortunately enough, I was in a position where I got to learn a little bit more about financial literacy and also ask questions, which my teacher answered. So that was something that was definitely part of the um, foundation But what I will say is it was already semi-solid when it comes to the basics before that class. But that class kind of helped me learn about a different things like credit and stuff like that, which is something that I would definitely that falls into that focus of financial literacy that I would say needs to be one of your focuses in life. This also goes with budgeting. Budgeting should be something that you do for sure. You want to make financial goals as well. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, yeah. Budget. Have some financial goals. Maybe amount of money you want to save. Maybe amount of money you want to invest. Have all these things in your focus. But like I said, I would definitely recommend learning as much as you possibly can about financial literacy because if you don't, then you're going to be left behind like everybody else. So yeah, for sure. First one off the list, definitely a solid one, financial literacy. Or yeah, financial situation, area of focus. All right, the second area of focus that should be one of your focuses, and if it's not your focus and you're watching this right now, this needs to be a priority because if it's not a priority, then I don't know what you're doing with your life, honestly. Shout out to KJ. We was in the gym today, baby. We was in the gym today. So, this is going to be the physical, right? You physically want to be able to build your body, build your health up. And if you're not doing that, like I said, I do not know what you're doing. This is going to be many different steps, but I would say the first step is getting a gym membership. This is something that is a worthy investment. And if you I would say if you work out like 15 times a month and you're paying for 1 month, you're going to get your money's worth 15 times. Yeah. Half the month, you should be at least working out half the month, at least. Um, but yeah, get your physical right. Get your body right. Are you exactly the way you want to look? And if you're not, then put in some work. If you're exactly the way you want to look, put in some work. You can look better. There's no excuses. There's no excuse. This is 2022. We're in 2022 right now. You have no excuse for not working out. None. You have no excuse for not learning what you need to learn in order to be a fit individual. No excuse. There's so many resources. You don't need realistically, if you need the accountability, do personal training, right? But if you have the self-discipline enough where you don't need personal training. Yes, sir. KJ, come on. You already know how it is, baby. All right. If you already have the self-discipline where you don't need a trainer, then that's fine. But what it comes down to is this. If you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to be able to reap any benefits. Like I had mentioned, if you are exactly the way you want to look, you still got work to put in to maintain that look, to maybe even look better. Like I said, you don't look perfect. Nobody looks perfect. Everybody can look better. Let's keep it 1,000, right? You got to go. It's a must. It's a must. There's too much. Like I said, the point I was trying to get at was, if you are a person who thinks you need a trainer, get a trainer. But if you're a person who doesn't think they need a trainer, but you still need education, there's plenty of resources on the internet, plenty of videos you can watch, plenty of TikToks you can watch that give you all the information you realistically need. The only thing I would say which you wouldn't have is going to be correcting form, but even then, the video should be thoroughly enough where you can get the form down, realistically speaking. But that's gonna give you all you need. So it's just a matter of putting in the time. And like I mentioned, this should be something of your focus. This is worthy of your focus. So put it if you don't know what workouts to do, put it in the time to do the research because it is worth your focus. Along with the physical, you have diet as well. Everyone should become more diet conscious. You should not be eating casually. That shit doesn't even make any sense, dude. In my opinion, I think you're honestly that is something that is a lack of maturity. If you are not diet conscious on what you're eating, if you don't have a goal within your diet, I just think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous, honestly. You're just eating just to eat. That's like I said, that's childish. You're not even thinking. That should be something of your focus. This is something that should be consciously thought of. This is not something that you should just eat and not worry about eating. That's ridiculous. Especially if you're in the gym. Obviously, you want to get your protein up. Even if you're not in the gym, you still should be getting your protein up. Doesn't matter. Also, focus on the kitchen so you can cook good, healthy meals. Exactly. You can focus on there if you would like. There's plenty of different things you can do. You can have people make the food for you. If you have a girlfriend who's nice enough to make the food for you, she can go ahead and make the food for you. If you have a mom nice enough to make it for you, she can make the food for you. If you have a grandma that can make the food for you, hey, that'll come in clutch for sure. You can cook it yourself. There's also meal prep options as well when it comes to like delivery services for meal prep. You could do that as well. So you do have your options. It's just a matter of thinking that it's the right investment for you. It depends on what you need. It depends on what you struggle with. Everybody's situation is different, but it's a matter of becoming conscious of something that needs to be your focus. So dieting is definitely going to be something that plays a role within the physical. And then with that, you can kind of think of just overall health in general. So maybe stretching. Stretching can be very, very good for you if you lack mobility. I feel like everyone should stretch, whether this is before a workout or just in general, just to feel a little bit better in your body. This is something that you should do for sure. It's going to help your physical. Also, taking supplements if you need supplements. Everybody lacks. No one gets everything they need out of their diet. No one does for the most part, right? So you can make it up within supplements. That is something that is worthy of your investment, worthy of your focus, worthy of your time. Let's see what else with physical. And here's the thing: just learning about this shit, just spending the time and focus learning about all of this is going to be very, very pivotal when it comes to your life. If you want longevity in this life, which if you're watching this, you should want longevity in this life. You should want to live as long as you can, as healthy as you can, as functioning as you can. This is something that, if you're watching this, you're probably doing good on health right now. Like I said, could it be better? Yes, but you do not want to be struggling in those later years in life where you're really, really down bad. You can't even move. You can't even leave your bed. No, you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be like that. Trust me. It's not a it's not a high quality of life. Which what I want personally is a high quality of life throughout my entire life. And the only way to do that really is by putting the work, put the focus on where it needs to be. Um, Along with physical, I really don't have anything else. So yeah, like I said, just be more physical conscious of your workouts, diets, overall health in general. Learn about different tips and tricks, whether it's fasting, whether it's being in the sauna, whether this is cold plunge. There's a lot of things that go along with this physical, but um, do the time, take your research, and you should be good. The next area of focus that is worthy of your focus is going to be purpose filling. So this is fulfilling your purpose in every single way you possibly can. There's many different ways. Oh, first, if you don't know what is your purpose, you need to find what your purpose is in this life. Then after you find your purpose, you can go ahead and fulfill your purpose. And there's many different endeavors and many different things you will do in your life that is going to be filling the purpose, right? It's just a matter of finding those and trying to do it as much as you possibly can, because that's going to bring you the most fulfillment in this life. But going back to the purpose filling, if you do not know what your purpose is finding your purpose, is trying to find your purpose. That is your purpose in life. Um, yeah, pretty much. Fill. That's all I got to say. Find it, fill. So, for example, one of the purposes I have in this life is to inspire. And if you're watching this, you should know. You should know because I've thoroughly communicated this, especially if you're within my personal life, you know what I'm talking about. My purpose is to inspire and empower the ones around me and of my influence, okay? So with that being said, the ways I can do that is by giving out the game weekly, on the daily with the TikToks, right? So this is going to be, doing the TikToks. This is going to be having a podcast. This is going to be creating videos. This is going to be focusing on my individual relationships within life and making sure those are good. And if there's any problems, fixing those problems. There's many different areas and many different endeavors that I could focus on that would fulfill my purpose. But these are all things that you need to do. And your purpose is never going to be 100% fulfilled. That's something you need to take into account as well. This is something that should be an ongoing process of needing to fill it. But yeah, find your purpose if you don't know what it is. If you know what your purpose is, fill it as much as you possibly can in as many different endeavors that you possibly can throughout your entire life. So that should be something of your focus. Your purpose as a man should be one of the top things, if not the top thing, when it comes to your focus. All right, the next thing is going to be the mental. The mental is another area of focus that you need in your life, okay? So this is going to be mental health, doing things that promote better mental health. If you are able to do the first three things that I'd mentioned, you're going to be in a much better place when it comes to your mental health. If you have your money on point, that's definitely going to help in some ways because you're not going to have a financial worry. It's going to be less of a burden on you, right? You get your physical right, if you do it right, you can almost eliminate all stress altogether. Now, you can't eliminate stressful situations, but you can eliminate the feeling of being stressed to an extent, right? So this is like I mentioned, cold plunge. Cold plunge is another one that if you do not if you're stressed, anxious, depressed, this is something you should do. This is something you should do very, very good research into. Along with breath work, this is something that I would also recommend if you are feeling those negative feelings. That's what I would associate them with, negativity. If you're feeling those, make sure you try to do everything you can in the physical to promote that better mental health. Um, Along with the mental is the mindset, right? This is something that everyone should be trying to cultivate. You should be trying to cultivate a very healthy mindset. Um, so this is getting rid of the negativity. This is getting rid of the self limitations. If you have any self limitations on yourself right now, get rid of them. The only thing that can hold you back in this life is you. The only thing that can hold you back from getting to the place you want to get to in this life is you. So get rid of any negative connotation when it comes to yourself. Um, the I can'ts, I wouldn't, I couldn't, I would never, I could never. All these, get rid of them. Eliminate them from your vocabulary because they're not they're not going to be benefiting you at all, and they're not worth your focus because these are things that you don't consciously focus on these things. This is something that oh yeah, I can't do this. It's not really of your focus, but it's subconscious. It's in your subconscious. Okay, and this is something that you need to be very, very careful with, and you hear yourself a lot more than you think, right? So make sure you get your mindset right. Um, I could make an entire podcast based off of mindset in itself, but your mindset is your life lens, is your life lens. So when you speak to the world, that is your mindset. So what are you speaking? What are you saying really? These are questions you need to ask yourself, and like I said, your mental, along with the mental health, along with your mindsets, should definitely be something of your focus. Along with that is going to be your emotional control. Give me 1 second. Being in control of your emotions is something worth your focus. If you let your emotions dictate what you do in the day, you're not going to get much done. This is it kind of goes back to the mindset and the self-discipline, right? Which I think is all mental realistically. If you can't control your emotions, if you can't control the way you feel, something else is controlling it then. What is controlling your thing? What is controlling your emotions? Anything that can control you emotionally has power over you. The mental and the mind is something that you should be in control of, and if you're not in control of, you need to take control. This is one of the only few things in life that you can control. If you're not in control, you need to do some work to try to make sure you're in control at least as much as you possibly can. This is something worthy of your focus in an area that needs to be focused on for sure. Okay, so kind of recapping, you have the mental, right? Mental health. You have your mindset. You have your emotional ability to control your emotions. These are all things that should be of your focus. If you have a comment on anything that I'm talking about right now, make sure you go leave in the comments. Comments are slacking right now, fellas. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what you think, man. Let me know what you think, man. Come on now. D, where you at? KJ, where you at? Come on now. All right, getting back into it. So the first four that should be of your focus: financial, physical, purpose, and your mental. These are all four things that are worthy of your focus. These are something that should be conscious thoughts every single day in order to better yourself. So you can work on these every single day. You can work on these every single day. There's no doubt in my mind that you can't work on these every single day. For example, finance or your financial situation, right? Going to work, right? This could be, learning about a side hustle. This could be doing your side hustle. This could be learning about a potential side hustle. This could be learning about what you want to do in the future. This could be anything, right? I won't say anything, but it could be a lot of different things. It even could be you spending money. So realistically, there you go. Another area of focus for life. Stay locked in, my boy. Yes, sir, D. Yes, sir, my G. Come on now. Always locked in. Always tapped in. Come on now. Gotta tap in, fellas. Um, Physical. You should be doing, obviously, the physical is not that hard. You're going to be doing it whether you like it or not, right? Workout. I work out 5 or 6 days a week, so gotta get it in, fellas. Gotta stay locked in, like he was talking about, right? This could be your diet. This is gonna be what you're eating. So these are things that are gonna be conscious thoughts for sure. Purpose. If you're not conscious of your purpose every single day, I do not know what you're doing. I feel bad for you if you're not focused on your purpose every single day. It is something that I'm always focused on. It is something that very early on in the day is of my focus every day. This is something that I talk about this and I've referenced this plenty of times now. Um, why I'm getting up in this why am I getting up in the morning is a list that I've made that gives me all the reasons and all the things I should focus on early on in the morning. So I know what to focus on and I can get rid of distractions early on. Those reasons should be bigger than yourself and like I said, should be of your focus for damn sure. All right, I'm getting into the next things. This is gonna be the spiritual aspect, and I want D. If you're in here right now, I want you to try to add on to this. Right, I'm gonna give you what I think our purpose should be. The one of the, if not first thing we focus on when we wake up. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, my dog. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. All right, getting into it. Spiritual aspect is an area of focus that you should be focused on every single day. Right. So what I have written down for this is staying grounded. Staying grounded is something that everyone should be able to do. Is should be an activity. There should be an activity in your day that helps you stay grounded. Whether this is meditation. This is something that I did today. Thankfully, it was very very good. Very very good. Meditation is something I would recommend for sure. Another thing that helps you stay grounded. You could also walk outside barefoot. That helps you stay grounded as well. Um, Staying grounded could be listening to music. Honestly, just being in the right mood, being conscious and in the moment. Right. Um, Writing about your day, I feel like that would also help you with your spirituality. Honestly, writing about your day, just getting some thoughts, like I said, staying grounded essentially. Um, yeah, breath work. Breath work's another one that definitely is something that most people should work on. Um, yeah, and then I also have ridding yourself of distractions. There's plenty of distractions in this life, and I've talked about this on many podcasts, fellas. But get rid of the distractions. They're holding you back. Get rid of your phone if that's one of your main distractions, which it should be. It probably is going to be. Uh, know when to put down your phone. Know when it's time to use your phone. But yeah, that's what I would say for spirituality. If you have anything else that you should that I should talk about, make sure to go to leave in the comments as well. I'm trying to think what else. So recapping areas of focus in life: financial, physical, purpose, mental, and spiritual. So far, I have what is it? 4 more. You're right. Yeah, I want you to get into that, D. Get into that, man. Conducting spiritual experiments is important too. Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, go ahead. Give us some examples of conducting spiritual experiments. Not all of us are going to have the same journey. That is true. Um, yeah, spirituality is something that definitely should be more of my focus. I do activities that involve my spirituality every single day, but it should be something that definitely consumes more of my focus. And once I have more time, um, that I'm not really worried about, the physical as much, or it could just be a not a conscious thought, but just something I just do, an unconscious thought. Financial, once I get that in the right place. Um, Mental, once I get that in the right place, which I'm already been doing great, thankfully. But once I get those in the right spot, is when I will give more focus to the spiritual realm, if you will. We'll get into the next one. All right, the next one is going to be an interesting one. This is gonna be I would say strictly for men, right? Yeah, this is gonna be strictly for men. I can kind of see how women would do it. Women would take this into account, whether it's something you've never tried and have been interested in. Like at this one point, just meditating in silence didn't feel like enough to grow spiritually, so I started playing white noise. Fair enough. Okay, fair. Yeah, so conducting experiments, like you mentioned. All right, getting to the next one. Like I said, is an area of focus is going to be status, right? So this can be status within your hierarchy. There's plenty of hierarchies in this world, right? Being conscious and focused on what hierarchy or where you stand in the hierarchy and how to get ahead of people in the hierarchy should be of your focus. So this could be in the things I said first, right? Playing with different frequencies is my favorite music. That is something I haven't got into. I'll get tapped in with that one of these days. But yeah, basically status. So where you are in the hierarchy, financially, where are you? Where do you want to be? How can you get there? Asking yourself the right questions. Physical, where are you in the hierarchy? Are you at the bottom? Are you at the top? How can you stay at the top? How can you get away from the bottom? Um, Obviously, that comes down to your daily. What are you doing daily, right? Ultimately, uh, status within your purpose. There's a lot of meaningless existences that exist right now, right? That people are just floating around in life. Um, Find what your purpose is. People that have a purpose and are great at fulfilling it are usually at the top of the hierarchy, anyways. Financially, physically, spiritually, mentally, everything. All the above. They're going to be up there. So this is with your status. There's many different areas that you can obviously um, elevate your status. Another one is going to be we're gonna get into this. You're gonna get into this. All right. This is gonna be your presence within the sexual market, pretty much, right? Where you stand when compared to your fellow man, right? Where do you stack up? How can you improve your status? This is gonna be physical. Why is he calling me, bro? He's an idiot, bro. He doesn't even know I have a fucking podcast, bro. Come on now. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So your status. This is gonna be your sexual market um value, essentially, right? Where you stand in the hierarchy, whether this is, like I said, at the bottom or at the top. How can you elevate? How can you stay at the top, right? Which is going to be, like I mentioned, all the other aspects of focus, right? Another thing with a status is going to be your social media presence as well. That is something that is a part of your status nowadays. Um, People will look at you differently. This is what some would perceive as superficial, but at the end of the day, this is the world we're living in. I can understand somebody not caring about that. Fair, that's fair. But if you want to be higher on the status hierarchy, social media presence is definitely something that plays a role within that. Yeah, that is something that is of my focus because it's going to reap a lot of benefits. For example, in the dating marketplace, that is definitely going to give you a certain leverage that not a lot of men have. So that is something that is of my focus as well. And just for me personally, just having a cult like following, that is something that I'm pursuing. That is something I'm trying to build and cultivate. Is people who rock with me. That gives you status as well. Just trying to find people, like I said, that resonate with your message and understands where you are and understand where you're trying to get to. So that is something that for sure. All right. The next one is going to be networking. So this is kind of a broad one, but this is something that definitely should be of your focus. Expanding your network, meeting new people. This is going to be, building on the relationships that you already have, making sure those are solid. Um, helping the ones around you as well. Um, yeah, basically just finding like-minded individuals who want to pursue the same type of life you want to live. Um, when you're able to build a network of people that are like-minded, which is also called a mastermind. Um, Shout out to Think and Grow Rich. Definitely a book I'd recommend for people to read. Talks about a mastermind, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think it's that book. Mastermind, like I said, a group of like-minded people The people that get further in life are able to cultivate a network, a strong, like-minded network of people that have similar goals, similar intentions. Um, yeah, if you don't have those, if you don't have one, find one. If you can't find one, create one. That's what I will say. That's my advice on that. But yeah, your network is important because it's not. Sometimes it's not about what you know. It's about who you know, right? If you can't leverage, and it is a part of leverage as well. Having that network is going to give you leverage. Knowing people is going to give you leverage in life. It's going to give you certain advantages that you wouldn't think would be an advantage, but really truly is an advantage just by knowing somebody. Um, yeah, it could just be the right person at the right time, and your life could be completely changed. Um, yeah, so like I said, expand your network, meet new people, step out of your comfort zone a little bit. That's what I will say. That is something that I'm definitely working on for sure. I do keep to myself a lot, but I'm also trying to expand it in other ways. But yeah, definitely something that I would recommend for sure. And definitely an area of focus that needs to be there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We gotta get out more. We gotta get out more for sure. The next area of focus is going to be your passion. What are you passionate about? Are you pursuing things of your passion on the daily? And the things that I had mentioned first, usually you should be able to find passions within those things. Hopefully you can find a passion within those things, whether it's the physical. For me, for example, right? I love weightlifting. I love playing basketball. Those are my passions, and I try to do at least one of those every day. Um, Obviously you need some rest days as well, but that is something that ideally, if I could do that, if I could do one of those two things every single day, I'm living a good life in my opinion. So, uh, yeah, definitely follow your passions. Another this is a podcast that I'm doing right now. This is something that I'm passionate about. So yeah, this is something that definitely is worth pursuing if you are passionate about that, right? Find what you're passionate about. If you don't have anything you're passionate about, start learning more about yourself. And like D had mentioned earlier, start trying new things, experimenting with different things, and like I said, trying to find yourself, ask yourself the right questions. There's a lot to get into that, but yeah, basically, um, find what you're passionate about and go ahead and do it every single day. Do it as much as you possibly can because that's going to bring you happiness and fulfillment. Um, all right, another one of mine. I'll give you some examples of things that I'm passionate about. So another one is going to be learning. Learning is something I'm definitely passionate about. I like being able to teach and lead, but I also like learning as well. So I like being the student as well. With the right teacher and the right information, I definitely like being um, the learner, the student, like I mentioned. Find things that you're passionate about, whether when it comes to what you want to learn about, right? Learn about those things, become a better man or woman because of those things. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Definitely should be an area of focus for sure. Your passions need to be a focus of yours, and if your passions aren't a focus and a priority of yours, then you're living a lackluster life. Honestly, you're not going to be as happy. You're not going to be as fulfilled, and you're not going to be able to pour into people the way that they can pour into you. If that makes any sense. You're not going to be able to give as much to an interaction as you would if you were pursuing your passions. So pursue your passions. Even if I would recommend not having any passions that are degenerative, but you know, in moderation, handle your business. But at the same time, like I said, you still got to be focused about your future and make sure it's not hindering you a lot more than it probably should, right? So be conscious of that. Like I said, definitely an area of focus, your passions. Another area of focus, and this is gonna be the last thing that I have for today. This is going to be freedom. This is something that is definitely a focus of mine and definitely a focus that I would recommend everyone really tap into right there. Freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom. These are things that should be of your focus. And until you achieve those things, you got work to do. Put in the work every single day to try to achieve that. This is something when I wake up in the morning is on my list of reasons why I'm getting up in the morning. Is not only to pursue my goals, but it is to pursue freedom. Because like I said, if you're living a life and you're not living the exact life you want to live in the freedom that you want, you're not living the greatest life you possibly can. So like I said, time freedom, the freedom to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. Location freedom, the ability to be free to do whatever you want to do wherever you want to do it, right? Financial freedom, to be able to spend as much money as you possibly want whenever you want to do it, right? These are things that are available in this life, and we need to treat it as such. There's a lot of people that think that are slave minded, honestly, slave minded, that think that these things are unattainable. Other people in this life have these things. Why can't you have them? That is a question I always ask myself when it comes to this. There's people that have what I want in this life, so why can't I get that? Why can't I be just like them and have that freedom? Do what you got to do, man. Put in the work every single day. It's what it comes down to. But yeah, put in the work. Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty much all I have for areas of focus that I think are worthy. You guys start believing in themselves that they are good enough. Exactly. You are worthy enough. Make sure you're acting in accordance to being worthy enough to have what you want in this life, right? Vibrate at the frequency in which the things you want are at. Um, of course, there's going to be sacrifices that are going to be involved within this, but you know what? You got to make the sacrifice. Everything you ever wanted in life was on the other side of hard, right? It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it and everyone would be having it. That is why it's worth what it's worth, is because not a lot of people have it. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the breakdown one more time. Areas of focus in your life that you need to be conscious of every single day is going to be your financial situation, is going to be your physical presence and your just physical health in general. Another area is going to be your purpose, whether this is finding your purpose or fulfilling your purpose every single day. Do what you got to do, and that should be an area of focus in your life. Another one is going to be your mental. So this is your mental health. This is going to be your mindset, making sure that's right. And if it's not right, getting it back on track and taking the steps necessary that's going to be benefiting you in the long run, right? Another one is going to be the spiritual aspect, being more spiritually in tune, staying grounded, and just knowing more about life in general. That's kind of what I would group into that. Another one is going to be your status. This is going to be climbing the hierarchies of life in every single endeavor and every single aspect of life that you see fit and that you see utility in. So yeah, another area of focus is going to be networking, finding like-minded people, building on top of the meaningful relationships that you already have, and also not pursuing a relationship or a friendship or anything that isn't worth meaning. That is something that I've started evaluating, and thankfully, all of my life, I've pretty much only had meaningful relationships, meaningful friendships, and anything less than that is not worth your focus at all. What helps is to pick a person who you idolize. Mine is Lionel Messi, who is a soccer player. I know who Lionel Messi is. Come on now. Pick your idol and do what they do. Work out and make money. Don't fold and you cop lacking. Exactly. He's spitting facts. He's spitting facts right there. Shout out to KJ. Yeah. A lot of people do not find inspiration from people, and I don't understand that. Exactly. There you go. There you go. Yeah, and another thing with that, right? Just surround yourself of the influence of people that you want to become. You want to be like, rather, not become. Be like, rather. So, like he had mentioned, it motivates him to be stronger mentally, stronger physically. You definitely want to idolize. I wouldn't say idolize, honestly. Admire people who have many different areas of life that are worthy of following, rather. So like for me, for example, right? Big Sean is one of the people that comes to mind when I think of this. He's a person. Not only do I feel inspired by his music, I feel inspired by the way he carries himself, the moves that he makes outside of music for his city of Detroit, the way his mindset works, the way his family life is, right? He's a person that could be doing whatever he wants to do, and he chooses to do a certain amount of things, and he's trying to pursue fulfillment. And this is one of the reasons why I idolize him as much as I possibly do, is because, quite frankly, some people are worthy of it, worthy of trying to emulate, and there's a lot of people that aren't. Yeah, you definitely want to take certain different aspects of people. Um, this is something that is in this book called Your Next Five Moves. It talks about your 10 heroic traits that you see in other people that you're trying to embody. You're trying to embody these traits. I talked about it on a podcast before, but um, yeah, find people that you are inspired by. Try to what specifically inspires you in their character, whether this is, like I said, their physical health, the way their mindset works, spiritually, financially, whatever it is, figure it out and try to emulate them, especially when it become better versions and don't become them. Yeah, exactly. Basically just better yourself. Just better yourself. Come on now. But other than that, fellas, I spit a lot of game on this podcast. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. If you're rewatching this, make sure you go and leave a like, and if you have a comment, make sure you go and leave in the comments as well. Last piece of the game I'm gonna leave you guys off on. We'll talk about this. Right? Give me 1 second. This is gonna be the piece of game I'm leaving you guys off on. The last piece of game, I wrote it on the sticky note. Your mind is not free if you are told or forced what to think. That is going to be the last piece of game, fellas. Think about that for a second. Your mind is not free if you are told what to think or forced what to think. There's a lot of things forcing you what to think and a lot of things that you're told to think. Your mind is not going to be truly free until you release yourself of those expectations, of those, those expectations, really. So free your mind. Understand that there's a life out there that is better than the life you have right now. Free your mind so you can go ahead and pursue that and try to achieve that every single day. I think sometimes it's hard to find people you really look up to when that person is your future self. Exactly. Become clear with what you want your future self to look like. What is future you look like? Make sure you have a very, very vivid image of what that is. If you're already him, fellas, you are already him. Now show yourself every single day that you're him. Simple. Expand it, shape it, and sharpen it, my boy. Exactly. Spin facts. Other than that, fellas, I appreciate everyone for stopping by today. This was Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 55, talking about focus and areas of life that are worth focusing on. The next podcast is going to be on Thursday. Also, just a few updates. I want you to go ahead and follow the TikTok if you're not already followed. Make sure you go ahead and like the videos as well. Make sure you go and like the videos that I posted. I posted a few today and yesterday. So you go ahead and make sure you like those as well. Definitely interesting ones. They came from the podcast that I did with my little brother. So make sure you go ahead and tap in with those. Other than that, fellas, I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Exactly. All right. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like on the video as well. Other than that, fellas, you guys have a good rest of your night. And like I said,